Hi there. Hope you all are doing well and trying to understand what is being taught to you. Today I am going to teach you the last poem of the half yearly exam. I had sent you the syllabus earlier. I hope everybody has read that or you have gone through that syllabus. There will be 5 poems in the half yearly exams. This is the 5th poem. The name of the poem is From an Elegy written in a Country Churchyard. This poem is written by Thomas Gray. Now, Thomas Gray was one of the most intelligent and learned poems after John Milton. And you all are lucky enough that you are studying such great poets as Milton and Thomas Gray and B.B. Shelley. They are all masters of English literature, especially they are great poets of English literature. Again, Thomas Gray was born in London in 1716. He came from a good, wealthy family, but his father was very cruel while his mother was very, very kind. He also loved music. And he did not like maths like me. So, coming back again, the poet in this poem is sitting in a graveyard. You understand graveyard? Graveyard मतलब जहाँ पे कब्र होती है, जहाँ पे लोगों को गाड़ा जाता है, कब्रिस्तान in short. So he is there. He is sitting there. He is. Actually, it's a church in olden days, and if you go to London or you go to Europe, you will find that near the churches there are also these graveyards are also there at the backyard of the church. So he is sitting there and he is waiting for the he's just in his own world, and he doesn't realize that it is evening time and it is time for everybody to go home. So it's time for him also to go back home, but he doesn't want to go back home. There's a certain the memories while he sits on a high mountain where this church and this graveyard is. He can see his village down below, and there are a lot of memories that come back while he can see the village. And then he looks at the graves, at the side, and he realizes that these are the peoples, these are the great-great-grandfathers of the villagers who are lying there, and there's nothing that they can do now. The graves belong to the rich villagers also, it belongs to the poor villagers also, and they are while they were alive, there was a lot of difference between the rich class and the poor class, and the poor class was not treated well by the richer class. But while they lie down over there, while they are dead over there is no difference. जब हम मर जाते हैं, चाहे हमको जलाया जाए, चाहे हमको गाड़ा जाए, हमको कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. उस समय सब एक होते हैं और सब ज़मीन के नीचे हैं और सबका एक ही हाल होता है. सो डेथ इज़ समथिंग इनएविटेबल. इनएविटेबल मतलब जो कोई भी ऐसा इंसिडेंट नहीं कहेंगे, कोई भी ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस जो होना ही है ज़िंदगी में, कोई भी उस चीज़ से बच नहीं पाएगा. So death is inevitable. It will come to everybody, whether they are rich or whether they are poor, whether they are educated or whether they are uneducated. So he has a lot of pathos. He has a lot of feelings. Pathos मतलब भावनाएं, a feeling of he feels for the poor people. Okay, he has a certain respect for the poor people. He understands that there is a lot of difference. So it's not only in India कि हम लोग किसी ज़माने में हम लोगों के यहाँ कास्ट सिस्टम या क्लास सिस्टम होता था और अमीर गरीब में फ़र्क होता था. It was also there in Europe, and especially when we are talking about England, this system, this class system also existed there. And he comes from that background. In 1716 there were the system was of the kings and the queens used to rule London, and these poor villagers, they couldn't just they stood nowhere in front of the rich people. So I'll start the poem for you, and then I will explain. This poem will be divided into two parts. Half I'll explain in this lecture and half I'll explain in the other lecture, as the length of the poem is little long. From an elegy written in a country churchyard, written by Thomas Gray. The curfew tolls the knell of parting day. The lowing herd winds slowly o'er the lea. The ploughman homeward plods his weary way, and leaves the world to darkness and to me. Beneath those rugged elms that yew trees shade, where heaves the turf in many a mouldering heap, each in his narrow cell forever laid, the rude forefathers of the hamlet sleep. The breezy of incense breathing morn, the swallow twittering from the straw-built shed, the cock's shrill clarion or the echoing horn, no more shall rouse them from their lowly bed. Let not ambition mock their useful toil, their homely joys and destiny obscure, nor grandeur hear with a disdainful smile the short and simple annals of the poor. The boast of heraldry, the pomp of power, and all that beauty, all that wealth ever gave, awaits alike the inevitable hour. The paths of glory lead but to the grave. When I read the poem, and I hope that all of you must have got the text by now, or the book by now. If you have not got it, you can just type the name of the poem and the poet on Google, and you will get the text. Okay, so those who are still, or if you have some books of your seniors, or somehow you have arranged for the books, it is good enough that you have it. But if you don't, then no problem, just go on Google, write the name of the poet and the poem, and you will get the text. The text does come along with this video, but if you're not able to read it clearly, you can get it from there. Okay, again, from an elegy written in a country churchyard by Thomas Gray. The curfew tolls the knell of parting day. The lowing herd wind slowly o'er the lea. The ploughman homeward plods his weary way, and leaves the world to darkness and to me. Beneath those rugged elms that yew trees shade, where heaves the turf in many a mouldering heap, each in his narrow cell forever laid, the rude forefathers of the hamlet sleep. The breezy of incense breathing morn, the swallow twittering from the straw-built shed, the cock's shrill clarion or the echoing horn, no more shall rouse them from their lowly bed. Let not ambition mock their useful toil, their homely joys and destiny obscure, nor grandeur hear with a disdainful smile the short and simple annals of the poor. The boast of heraldry, the pomp of power, and all that beauty, all the wealth ever gave, awaits alike the inevitable hour. The paths of glory lead but to the grave. So, here I tell you the meaning of the first paragraph. The curfew tolls the knell of the parting day. Knell is a church bell. Okay, so it is, imagine it is evening time and the church bells are ringing. Now earlier in olden days they did not have clocks to tell them the time. So the church bell was a signal that it is time to get up, or it is the time to, it is evening time and it's time to go home. So in this paragraph he says that it is evening time, the church bells are ringing and it is time for everybody to go back home. So it's like a curfew. It's like everybody is going back to their homes now. It's evening time, it is supper time, they will have their dinner and then they will go to bed. So that was the routine they used to follow every day. The curfew tolls the knell of parting day, means the church bell rings and it reminds the people that the day has come to an end. The lowly herd wind slowly o'er the lea, means that the soft breeze is flowing over the grasslands. जो वहाँ पे मैदान है, जो पहाड़ों के नीचे छोटे छोटे घर हैं, और जब लोग लौट रहे हैं तो ठंडी हवा भी चल रही है वहाँ पे. The plowman homeward plods his weary way, means that after a very tiring day, the plowman means the farmers are going back to their homes. They are tired, they want to go home, they want to just relax, eat some food, spend time with their family members and then go to bed. And leaves the world to darkness and to me, means that since everyone is going back home, the bell has rung, they now know that it is time for them to go back. So everybody is going back. The ladies in the house are preparing for the supper, and the farmers are returning home. The cool breeze is blowing and the poet is sitting in the graveyard. It's time for him also to go back home, but he is not ready to do so. He just wants to spend some time all alone in the church, sitting in that graveyard. Beneath those rugged elms that yew trees shade. Elms and yew trees are they are trees, kind of big huge trees, okay? And beneath those trees, where heaves the turf in many a mouldering heap, मतलब उन पेड़ों के नीचे the graves are lying, okay? Mouldering heap मतलब कि जो जैसे मिट्टी को एक कब्र की तरह से आप बनाएं तो जो हीप जैसा लगता है, जैसे मिट्टी का ढेर, तो वो जो ढेर है वो एक कब्र के शेप में है. So the poet is saying, beneath the elm trees and the yew trees lie these graves, okay? Each in his narrow cell forever laid. मतलब हर ग्रेव में कोई ना कोई ऑफ कोर्स होगा ही, चाहे वो बड़ा इंसान हो या छोटा या रिच या पुअर, जो भी है वो हमेशा के लिए उस ग्रेव में सोया हुआ है. And the last line says, the rude forefathers of the hamlet sleep. Hamlet over here is a word which is given to the villagers. Rude forefathers मतलब जो उस गांव वालों के जो great grandfathers हैं, उनकी कब्र वहाँ पे मौजूद है जहाँ पे उनकी लाशें हैं. Okay, so the dead bodies of the villagers lie in these graves which are under the yew trees and the elm trees. Okay, so I'll explain these two paragraphs once again to you. The curfew tolls the knell of parting day, means they say the church bell is ringing, it's time, it's a sign or it's a signal for everybody to know that the day has come to an end. So the breeze is blowing, the farmers, the plowmen are coming back, or they are going back to their homes, and the poet sits there in darkness, all alone, because he doesn't wish to go home. He wants to spend some more time in that graveyard, which is in the churchyard. Okay? There he sees, he just gazes at the graves which are lying in order. सब लाइन से बनी हुई है, मतलब ऐसा नहीं है ऊबड़ खाबड़ तरीके से है. They are lying in order, एक लाइन में है. They are under the yew trees and the elm trees, and they are lying there. And who is lying there in those graves? The dead bodies of the villagers are lying in those graves. Perhaps that village belonged to the poet, and there he has some sort of a feeling for the villagers. So there, once you lie in the grave, it's not characterized whether you're whether that grave is of the rich person or the poor person. Once you die, everything remains the same. Okay? So I hope that these two paragraphs are clear to you. Just go through the video again and you will be able to understand the two paragraphs. Be sure that you have the text in front of you so that the explanation is more clearer to you. For any doubts, kindly write your comments in the comment section. I'll be much too happy to give you the answers. Take care. Bye-bye.